Hi, and welcome to the State of Work Update Q1 2024. If you've tuned in before and heard one of my cold takes, you know one of my favorite things to talk about is the state of work and work from home and flexible environments. And this is a kind of continuation on that. We're going to start doing quarterly updates on the state of work. There's always lots of new studies going out, and so we have lots to share. I'm going to start this one with saying that a lot of the data won't be surprising to this group. There's a lot out there on productivity, corporate culture, and working environments, and it's pretty consistent with what we've been seeing all along. There's a continued lack of evidence that the return to work has any positive impact on productivity. So what we're actually seeing is there is a sort of gain in productivity moving to work from home environments, and across the board, flexible working environments are just reigning king. We see that more flexibility in the work environments is actually leading to more connectivity. So recent data from Future Forum found that employees feel more connected to company values and more connected to their direct managers when they are in flexible work environments. And we saw that schedule inflexibility actually leads to productivity declines. Kind of crazy that the average US employee spends about 70 minutes a day in their car that they don't have to spend if they are able to work from home or in a more flexible environment. So what do they do with that time that's saved? That 70 minutes is split in both additional work and leisure, both of which can be actually really important for productivity and avoiding burnout in your employees. So compared with workers with no ability to shift their schedules, respondents with a fully flexible schedule report 39% higher productivity and 64% greater ability to focus. Both things I think we all want in our employees. We do see a crop of large, mature organizations making some pretty insane demands lately. I'll get into that in a minute. We see kind of across the board that large, mature organizations and small businesses are having the hardest time moving away from the sort of work environments of yesteryear. And some of that is structural. Some of that is just a lack of knowledge and understanding and how to manage in a flexible work environment. But we've seen some pretty bizarre things come from the marketplace lately. From Internet Brands, which is the parent brand of WebMD, we saw this very strange video of empty workspaces with people sort of superimposed dancing in front of them. And the message was not to mess with them. So leaving us all a little questioning what was going on there. They are trying to demand that workers go back to work and fill those empty spaces. And I guess the idea was that they were going to have dance parties when they did so, but very bizarre. A lot of internet chatter on that one. IBM also sent out a memo, return to work or leave. A lot of employees are slated to take them up on that threat. What we see as a result of these intense mandates is this backfire. We initially will see less diverse workforces. So across the board, all the data is showing that these policies have a disproportionate effect on working mothers. Probably is no surprise. Working mothers, yes, still in 2024, are carrying the large majority of household responsibilities. And when we look at the data in fields like computer science, marketing, and communications, which were a little bit more welcoming to remote work, working mothers' employment rates increased drastically with almost a one-to-one correlation. The more flexible the working environments, the more working mothers you had in the workplace. So, if you're looking for diversity in your workplace and to include working mothers in your employee workforce, a flexible work environment is a must. A lot of the top talent, the highest paid talent out there is really demanding flexible work. In a July 2023 report from McKinsey, 1/3 of employees earning over $150,000 said they would quit their job if they had to return to the office. And that more specialized workforce, which is already very hard to recruit, is really demanding that flexible work environment. So a study of developers and computer engineers from 107 different countries found that for the third year in a row, flexibility is the most important reason why they stay in a job or look for a new one. Outside of having an impact on your workforce and their productivity and connection to your company, the largest impact this flexible work environment is bringing into our world seems to be seen in our corporate real estate. This is something we probably want to pay some attention to because we're seeing these ghost towns, both in those like empty offices, like WebMD's parent brand, in their weird video, and in office parks around the US. Offices are at about half of their pre-pandemic occupancy levels, according to a recent article from the New York Times. This sort of ghost town-like environment that's really increased in these office parks in suburbia. This could, in fact, really impact local tax revenues across the US. Outside of wanting this work environment to be part of the future and flexibility, we need to look at what we're going to do to make up those tax losses and look at ensuring that investments in corporate real estate can be worked through and we don't have a big bubble crash. There's going to be a lot of economic impact of this, and it's something to keep our eyes on. But there are some things you can do, and there's some interesting pieces of that. If you have an office space that you don't know what to do with, you could take a page from Elephant Insurance, which is a business in Richmond, Virginia, a place that we know and love at Brand Federation. You could also look into sharing agreements with like-minded companies. That's what we do at Brand Federation. We have a flexible work environment. We have 2 offices, one in New York and one in Richmond, both in a shared work environment with like-minded companies that we love to partner with. It creates a really great opportunity for collaboration, as well as opportunity for our employees to have somewhere to go work if that's what they prefer. The other kind of place that we're seeing a new impact of this flexible work environment is actually the repercussions for those that don't offer flexible work environments. So we're seeing that specific populations, especially of employees, are demanding the ability to have flexible work environments because it can actually have an effect on their personal life. We saw a class action lawsuit for requiring employees in the office for workers with disability at X, formerly Twitter. There are a number of examples, especially in office environments, where maybe downtowns have become less safe, or people like working mothers feel like they have less access. Those sort of lawsuits and repercussions of inflexibility are on the rise. So something to keep an eye on if you are a business leader trying to figure out how to design the future of work in your company. The other takeaways I have for you are somewhat similar to what you've heard before. 15 minutes of FaceTime with your manager, still very important. That could be FaceTime on Zoom, that could be FaceTime in person, but your employees need time to connect with their fellow employees. So you're going to have to change your strategy on how to do that a bit as you really lean into the flexible work environment. And of course, make sure that in any policy that you design, you take into account specific needs and a person's individual role. There needs to be flexibility between people and roles because different roles require different work environments. That's okay. One stroke does not have to fit all folks. And last, please, please avoid making any weird, archaic announcements or videos. We don't need any more of those in the world. Thanks so much, and tune back in Q2. We'll do this again, and I'll do a quick run through of all the data about the state of work and flexible work environments.